Well, hello everybody, and thanks for joining me on today's webinar. We're going to be talking about internet marketing and SEO techniques for more effectively marketing your plumbing or HVAC business online. Just going to hang on for a few minutes and let a couple additional people join the call. Anybody while you're on the line, if you have any questions, there's a form right on the bottom here where you can enter, enter your questions, and I'll try my best to get to you guys if and when the opportunity presents itself. Well, again, I want to thank you guys for joining us on today's webinar. We're going to be talking about internet marketing and SEO techniques for more effectively marketing your plumbing or HVAC business online. My name is Josh Nelson. I'm the co-founder of Plumber SEO. We're associate members of the PHCC, and I was actually just this past week in Florida for the FLPHCC, the Florida Plumbing and Heating Plumbing Association meeting. I had the opportunity to share some of the same information at that event. The feedback that I got was pretty strong. People really enjoyed it. They really liked the information. They really felt like they could implement that in their business. And I was encouraged to create a webinar like this just to share it and make it more accessible to the other plumbing and heating contractors throughout the United States that could benefit from the same information. So thanks for joining me. I really think you're going to get a lot of good information about this. And I think you're going to enjoy it. Again, my name is Josh. I live in South Florida. I live in Miami with my wife, Yesenia. Run the company Plumber SEO. Again, we specialize in working with plumbing and HVAC contractors, helping them really grow their business and increase their sales by more effectively marketing online. There on the right of your screen, you'll see our team. It's we've got a little bit larger team than that now, but it's me, Dean Iadisi, Norton, and Wayne, and we really burn the midnight oil trying to come up with new ideas and techniques and strategies to help our clients get to the top of the search engines. And so here's what we're going to be covering on today's webinar. I'm going to start off by talking about why search engines and internet marketing is so important for plumbing and HVAC contractors. From there, I'm going to kind of demystify what's happening on the search engines. There's a lot of things that come up on the screen when you type in your city plus plumber or your city plus plumbing contractor. I'm going to kind of talk about what those different areas are: the map listings, the sponsored listings, and the organic non-pay-per-click section of the search engine. From there, I'm going to dive into probably one of the most commonly asked questions that I get from plumbing and HVAC contractors throughout the United States, which is, how do I get my plumbing or HVAC business listed on the map when someone types in my city plus my service? And there's a lot of meat to that portion of the presentation. We're going to go in depth with some of the research that we've spent hours digging up and testing. I'm going to be sharing that on the call. I'm going to talk about how you can improve your placement in the organic section of the search engines, which is traditionally referred to as SEO. What keywords you want to make sure you optimize your website for, how you can build out your site so that Google and Yahoo and Bing understand what you do and place you in the search engines for the right keywords, and then some strategies on how you can get it to rank better in your market. Of course, we're going to share, as part of that, the 25 most commonly searched plumbing and AC repair related keywords, which is valuable because you're going to need to know what people are searching with velocity so that you can really make sure you're optimizing your website for the things that people are actually searching for. From there, I'll talk about the most important online directories that you want to make sure you're involved in. It used to be you could just get a large ad in the yellow pages and a big truck with a nice wrap on it, and you'd pretty much show up when people were looking for what you did. Well, now, instead of looking in one place, they're looking online. They're looking on Google. They're looking on Yahoo. They're looking on Bing. They're looking on Angie's List. And so I'll talk about the main ones that you want to make sure you're listed in so you can still have that same impact as if you had the big yellow page ad and could show up everywhere people were looking for you. Then I'll talk about social media. And a lot of the plumbing contractors and heating contractors I talk with, they know Facebook's important. They know it's growing exponentially. But most of them are saying, I don't understand how this applies to my business. I don't get how I can leverage Facebook or Twitter, how that's possibly going to help me grow my business. It seems like a waste of time and a waste of energy. I'm going to talk specifically about how you can leverage social media in a way that's going to help you grow your business. So that's what you can expect on the webinar. I'm going to try and make it as interactive as possible. So, while I'm sitting in my office here in Doral and you happen to be sitting wherever you are throughout the United States, I do want to stop and answer your questions. So the questions box is just below you on your screen. Type in your question, and as I see it, I'll try and make sure that I take a couple minutes to address your question. If not, you can rest assured that we'll get back to you after the webinar and fill you in with the information. So our team, my business partner and I, wrote the complete guide to internet marketing for plumbing and actually for plumbing contractors, and it's available on Amazon.com. And all the strategies and techniques that we've written in that book and are sharing actually on this webinar are proven. They're proven by us having implemented these for plumbing contractors in competitive markets throughout the United States. So I just want to show you a couple of examples. Here's a search for Fort Lauderdale plumber, very competitive market in the United States. You'll see spot A there is our client. He's in this top position in Fort Lauderdale for Fort Lauderdale plumber. Atlanta, Georgia, spot A on the map in his market. Rancho Cucamonga, spot A on the map for his. Santa Monica plumber, client in Santa Monica, spot A on the map. Our client in Miami, South Florida, actually happens to have 3 spots on page 1 for his most important keyword, Miami plumber, or Miami commercial plumber. So I don't say that to brag. I don't say that to say, hey, look how good we are. I really just want you to know that the exact strategies that we use to get those clients top position in their competitive markets throughout the United States are the same strategies I'm going to be sharing on this webinar. So you can really rest assured that this isn't me, kind of regurgitating some information that I read somewhere in a book. This is based on hours of research and, even more hours of actually implementing this for plumbing contractors and HVAC contractors throughout the United States. And that's exactly what we're going to be sharing in this webinar. So, if I was you, I would, go somewhere where you can shut the door and really pay attention and concentrate on this information, because if you take the ideas and you implement them, you can see a significant increase in not only your placement on the search engines, but in your business, both from new business and repeat and referral business, by leveraging the exact strategies I'm going to be sharing here over the next 45 minutes. From what we refer to as offline marketing to online marketing. It used to be, like I was talking about a couple minutes ago, it used to be that you could buy a full page ad in the Yellow Pages and rest pretty confidently knowing that when your customer needed your services, they would pick up the Yellow Book and they would find you. You'd at least be top of mind. You'd be able to show up when they were looking for what you did. The transition, though, is that people aren't going to the Yellow Pages in the same velocity that they used to. They're not going to that Yellow Book and opening it up and thumbing through. They're going someplace different. And so it kind of begs the question, where are people going when they need plumbing and HVAC related services? And the answer is, for the most part, they're going to the internet. One of the latest studies showed that more than a survey of more than 2,000 consumers found that over 86% of them are using the internet when they need to find local business. So the answer is they're not really going to the Yellow Pages as much as they used to. There's still something to be said for having an ad in the Yellow Pages, but for the most part, people, when they need your types of services, are going to the web. And there's over 20 million searches every single month for plumbing and HVAC related terms. And we got that data by looking at the historic search trends on Google and Yahoo and Bing, and that's where we came up with this information, just looking at historic search trends. So just to give you an example of how this plays out in the real world and why it's so important, one of the clients we work with down in the South Florida, in the Tampa area, was a big-time advertiser in the Yellow Pages. And, he was a big player in his market, and noticed that he wasn't getting as many calls as he once did from the Yellow Pages. And so he decided he needed to get involved in the internet. And relatively early on, he decided he'd set up a website, and he would, put his shingle out online. So when someone typed in his company, hopefully they would find him and he'd have some good information available. Well, he got his website up and didn't really know exactly how to do it. He basically had a web development company build a website, and that was about that. So he came to us and said, "Hey, guys, put together a web presence solution for me. Do your optimization thing, do your social media thing, and let's see what we can do online." And this client, in his first month, we do put a tracking number on our client's website so we can see how things are going and what the increase is, not just from a placement perspective, but at the end of the day, more importantly, from a optimization perspective and from an inbound call perspective. And in his first month on the tracking, we saw 11 inbound calls. So that gave us a baseline as to where he was starting, how many calls he was getting from the web in the first place. Then, by the third month, and that gave us some time to update his website, get some placement on the search engines, and that's not necessarily page one, but some solid placement for a variety of his words. Going into the third month, he had 57 inbound calls via the web. Now, 9 months in, after really getting placed on page one in the top couple of listings for a number of his keywords, 9 months in, from 11 calls month one, he had 125 inbound calls directly via the web in his 9th month. And now, on an ongoing basis, he averages somewhere between 120 and 140 calls directly via the internet every single month. And so, all of that's just to indicate internet marketing will not just be something fun or give you a better position, but it will drive more inbound calls for your business. So that's why search engine optimization and internet marketing is so important for your plumbing business. Now, I just want to stop there because this is kind of segment one of the presentation, and see what questions you have on that. What questions you have on the importance of the search engines. So I'm just going to take a look here. All right, so the question I'm getting is, how do you know how many calls? The way we know how many calls is we put a unique number that's unique to that customer on their website, and it rings to their office just like it always does, but it gives you the ability to see how many calls are coming to that number, and that number is listed only in one place, and that is the website. And so that's how we were able to gauge, in this case, just for this example, how we went from 11 calls to 125 calls in in less than a 1 year period. Okay, I'm going to move on. So now let's demystify what's happening on the search engine. So if somebody types in, your city plus plumber, your city plus plumbing contractor, your city plus water heater repair, there's a lot of different things happening on the search engines. I just want to break this down because some people realize this, some people don't, and it's important to understand the different elements so that you can have a strategy for each. So up along the top and along the sides, you have what's called pay-per-click listings. Those, you pay for, and I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about that. In the area below, this area here where you got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that's called the map listings. And then, of course, below that, you've got what's called the organic listings. So let's talk a little bit about pay-per-click. The way the pay-per-click area works is, and that's along the top and along the side, it's advertising space. You're able to pick the keywords that you want to rank for, bid on them, and only, say, I'll pay a certain amount per click in my market, and then that's how you're able to show up in the paid area in the search engines. There are some benefits to this form of advertising in that you can pick a word like plumber, plumbing, water heater repair, and even though the person didn't type in your city, for instance, they didn't type in Miami, they didn't type in Santa Monica, they just happened to type in your city, or they just typed in plumber. Well, based on the IP address, meaning where they typed that search from, Google can say, okay, well, that person's searching from Santa Monica. You could say, okay, well, anybody within a 25-mile radius of my area that types in the word plumber, plumbing, plumbing contractor, emergency plumber, burst pipe, repiping, I want to show up for that word. So that's how you're able to show up. The way that you determine your placement, whether position 1 or 2 or 3 or down here like number 7, is it's a bidding system, kind of like eBay. So if you decided you wanted to bid on the word Santa Monica plumber and you said, hey, I'll pay $7 per click, that might put you right here, because and this is just example numbers, let's say that this guy in the top spot said, I'll pay $22 a click. And then the second spot said, I'll pay $21 a click. And this guy said, I'll pay 18. And he said, I'll pay 17. So you pay on a cost per click basis, and it's on a bidding auction type of system. It's more complicated than that. There are a lot of additional variables, such as quality score, and other things that go into what your actual cost is. So, there are cases where an effective pay-per-click campaign, you could be in the top spot at $8, where, this guy on the second spot could be paying $13 because there's other components. But I just want you to get the idea. You pay on a per-click basis. You can set whatever budget you want. So you might say, hey, I want to try this out. I will pay, I'll put in there $100 a month, or I'll put in there $100 a day. Don't spend more than $100 a day, but I'll spend $100 a day. And then as people click on you, depending upon whether it's a $13 click or $2 click or $7 click, your budget spends out at $100, and then you come off the search engines. So that's the pay-per-click section. The next section is what we call the map listings. And this used to be called Google Places. Now it's actually referred to as Google Plus Local. Google recently changed this entire part of the search engine where now it's pulling information from Google Plus, their social media program. And, the main thing I want you to get from this organic section, this map section, is you can't buy your way into the map. There's no advertising mechanism where you can say, hey, I'll spend $2,000 per month if you put me in spot A on the map. It doesn't work that way. Google places people on the map based on a variety of factors, but really it's a function of where are you located, how many reviews do you have, how legitimate of a player does Google think you are based on your credibility in the marketplace, based on online factors. So you can't buy the place, and there's some certain things that Google looks at in order to place that. But what they want to do is place the best companies in those spots A through G on page 1 so that their consumer, when they run a type of search for Santa Monica Plumber, and they come across guys that are quality providers, they're going to come out and do a good job, so that the next time they need to find a local business, where are they going to go? They're going to go back to Google. And as long as Google's creating a good experience for its customers, they keep using the engine. They keep making billions of dollars on the pay-per-click listings. Now moving on to the map listings, to the organic listings, again, you can't buy your way into the organic listings. The organic listings are based on the content that's on your website, what Google perceives as your authority for that page and that specific content in your website, but you can't buy your way into these listings. So again, just to reiterate, and what I want to focus on is there's 3 main components on the search engines. There's pay-per-click, the map, the organic. You pay as advertising to get into the PPC listings. You have to have our true location and some other factors that establish you as an organization to get on the map, and then you have to have a good website with quality content and inbound links to get into the organic section of the search engines. And I'm going to go into specific depth on each 3 of these, but I just want you to get the idea that those are 3 different sections that you have to have 3 completely different strategies for. Any questions on that, on the differences between the map and the organic and the pay-per-click? Okay. All right. So one of the most common things that we hear once we get through this portion of the presentation is, okay, well then, that being the case, what should I do? Where should I focus my energy? Should I try and get on the map? Should I try and get the organic section? Should I just run a pay-per-click campaign? And I like to answer that with data. So, there were some studies conducted to see what people looked at when they search. So when someone types in your city plus plumber, your city plus plumbing, where do they look? Do they look at the organic section, or do they look at the pay-per-click listings? And for the most part, more than 72% of the population, when they run a search, their eyes go straight to the organic section, straight to the map and organic listings, and kind of skim right past the pay-per-click listings. And the reason for that is a lot of people now realize that those are advertising. It's almost like when you read the newspaper or a magazine, are you looking for the articles that are good, that have good content, or do you want to read the ad? No, you kind of skip past the ad. You might see the image, but you're going to go ahead and read what you consider to be the actual content. And so that's why a majority of the population look at the organic listings. And this image on the right is just a heat map that they used goggles that measure where the eye looks and where they spend most of their time when they get to a page. And the heat map really indicates that the majority of the population, when they search, are looking right at the map in the organic section most of the time. So that being the case, you probably want to focus your time, your energy, and your financial resources on the area where people spend most of their time, which is the organic and non-pay-per-click sections on the search engine. Now, that's not to say you don't want to have pay-per-click as a component of your strategy, because it gives you another placeholder for what you do in your area. But if you've got limited resources and you need to say, okay, where can I spend my time and my energy most effectively, definitely focusing on the organic and map listings is the way to go. So now let's talk about some specific strategies for getting your plumbing or HVAC business listed on the Google map. And again, this is one of the most common questions that I receive from plumbing and HVAC contractors all throughout the United States. So what do I need to do? How do I make sure I show up on that map when someone types in my city plus plumber, my city plus plumbing, etc.? And there are really three core components for getting listed on the map. The first one is having a claimed and optimized Google Places listing. That's a function of going to google.com/places, and you can tangibly claim or stake your claim on your business listing. Once you do that, you have the ability to upload photos, upload videos, add description of your company, choose categories in which you serve, set your service area in the real area that you service. And I'm going to talk about how to claim your Google Places listing in a second. The second critical component is having a consistent name, address, and phone number profile across the web. So in the industry legal for it, from an SEO perspective, is your NAP, name, address, phone number. And really what that is making it so that when Google tries to look up your company, and it starts at Google Places, because you're in Google Places and you've got a name and an address and a phone number listed there, but it wants to see, okay, where else is this company listed? How credible is this organization? And if you're referenced with that same information on Yellow Pages and Hot Frog and Angie's List and Judy's Book and City Search and Yelp.com, Magic Yellow, Google will place a higher level of authority on your listing, and that significantly improves the probability of showing up on the map. So again, I'm going to talk more in depth about NAP, name, address, phone number, but that's the second critical component, having that consistent information about your company across the web. The third critical component is reviews, having authentic reviews from your true customers in your true service area on your Google Places listing and other online review sites like City Search and Yelp.com and Angie's List. The other kind of important element in getting ranked on the map, especially as it relates to plumbing and HVAC companies, is helping Google understand your true service area. Now, it's different for a home services company like plumbing and HVAC than it is for a dentist or a retail store. So a dentist has a physical office where customers come in when they need to have dental work done. So having a Google Places listing highly, anchored at that address, Google knows, okay, people are probably going to come to that dental office within a 5 to 7 mile radius. And that's about as far as they're going to come. And it's kind of irrelevant as to what their service area is because it's based on location. Location, location, location. Now with home services businesses like yours, it's a little different because who cares where you're located or where your address is? What's really important is where your customers are and how far you and your technicians are willing to travel in order to serve your client base. So Google is trying to figure out the way to measure this because trying to place people on the map based on where their address is isn't the best criteria. The better criteria is having a true representation of that service area and knowing where you and your techs go. So there are some tools to help Google understand what your true service area is, and I'm going to talk about those, as we continue down this Google Places optimization portion of the webinar. But the three critical components for getting on the map is having a claimed and optimized Google Places listing, having a consistent name, address, and phone number across the web, and having true, authentic reviews from your customers on your Google Places and other online directory listings. So let's talk about claiming your Google Places listing. If you haven't done this, I want you to find a pen and pad somewhere, in the vicinity of where you are, and write down google.com/places. This is the place where you can claim your Google Places listing or your Google Maps listing. If you don't get anything else from this presentation, but you write that URL down and you follow some of the steps I'm about to share with you, you'll get a ton of value out of this presentation. So google.com/places. From there, you have the ability to claim your Google listing and add updated information. So some things you want to do, some best practices around your Google Places listing. Again, you're going to go to google.com/places. You'll see an image, a setup similar to this. You want to click on the Get Started button over on the right-hand corner as a business owner, not as a consumer. And then it will basically give you the opportunity to enter your phone number, and it will search the database and say, okay, is this company already listed on Google Places, yes or no? If yes, then it's going to show you, okay, is this your company at this address? And then it'll give you the process to update some of the information. Once that's done, it's going to ask, you to verify your listing. It'll ask you to verify either via phone or mail. If you've got a new listing that hasn't already existed in here, it's probably going to only give you the option for mail. And if if that's the case, what you're going to do is you're going to type in, request the postcard via mail. You'll receive it in a few days via the mail, and you'll log back into your Google Places listing, enter your PIN code, and then you'll have claimed the Google Places listing. If it gives you the option to verify via phone, ultimately click Finish, and you'll receive a phone call almost instantaneously, like the one that just interrupted me here, and it'll say, this is Google, your PIN code is 43622, or whatever the number. It'll be a unique number. Write that down, enter into Google Places, and you'll have claimed your Google Places listing. Now, if you've already got a Google Places listing, or once you complete that practice, now I want to share some best practices on what you need to do within your Google Places listing to really put your best foot forward. The first thing you want to do is you want to update to be your correct and authentic company name. Don't add any keywords in the field where it asks for your company name. So if your company is Joe's Plumbing, leave the company Joe's Plumbing, and that's going to be the legal name that you incorporated your business as. Some information out there or misinformation out there might indicate, hey, put in Joe's Plumbing - Miami Plumber, or Joe's Plumbing - your plumber in Miami. So you can get your keywords in there and be clever. That's against Google Places policies and procedures, and it will hurt you. You'll probably wind up with a listing that gets penalized and won't rank. So if that's on your Google Places listing, go in there and erase it immediately, and you might see a bump in placement. The second thing you want to do is you want to add your company's website address, and that's obvious. It's going to create an inbound link, makes it easier for your customers to go out and find some additional information. Enter your phone number. Again, it's essential that you use a local number, not an 800 number, but a local number. So if you're in Miami, you use a 305. If you're, in Atlanta, you use a 770. If you're, you get the idea. You use your local number. No 800 numbers in the Google Places listing. We found that Google doesn't like 800 numbers. It wants to serve local businesses, and so an 800 number is a clear indication that you probably aren't all of that local. So use the 800. Okay, I just got a question here. What about why, if I have a branded 800 number and I'd prefer to use that, why can't I use it? There's two reasons. The first reason is an 800 number, Google's looking for local. Google's looking for local businesses, and an 800 number flags the system to say you're not local. Secondarily, we find that conversion rate on a local number for plumbing and HVAC convert significantly better than an 800 number. So if we put two web pages side by side with the same information in a local market, one had an 800 number and one had a local number, the local number will out convert that 800 number every day because people want to feel like they're dealing with a local company. So always use a local number just from a conversion perspective, but from a Google Places optimization, we're just talking about the map here, you have to do it if you want to rank on the map. On that same token, you need to use a local address. So don't use a P.O. box. Certainly don't use a UPS store. So P.O. box we found won't work at all. If you type in P.O. box 993 with your city and state, you're not going to rank on the map. Google doesn't accept it. Now, if it's a home address, you can get away with that. And I'm going to talk about some ideas on how to manage a home address. If it's a office, like a real office or a warehouse, you've got no worries. Just make sure you reference it the same way on your Google Places as you do in other places. Worst case scenario, if you don't have an office, you don't want to list your home address, go on and get a virtual office that has a unique suite number. So some of the companies like Regis and other virtual offices out there will give you an office in the city that you want to be in, the main city, but they won't give you unique suite numbers. You'll get a unique address, but it'll be suite number 225. And you'll be sharing that with all of the other tenants of, suite 225. That doesn't work. Google sees that and says, oh, well, there's like 10 businesses here. You need something that's going to be unique to your company. If you are listing a home address as your business, that's okay. We've got clients that rank very well on the map with a home business. The only caveat to that is you need to hide your address in Google Places. You're going to need to reference that same address, that name, address, phone number on all of the other online directory listings when we get to the NAP development. But there's a setting inside Google Places where Google asks, do customers come to your place of business or do you service them? And you want to select the button, I service my customers at their home or at their place of business. Then it asks a follow-up question below that says, do people come to your business? Should we hide your address or show your address? If you've got a home address and you're not going to be having customers to your home, you need to click that button that says hide your address. Don't be scared. If you establish your name, address, phone number, and you get legitimate reviews, this won't limit you from showing up on the map. So that's my piece on having a local address, what to do with a home address versus a business. Inside Google Places, you have the option to upload photos. You want to upload as many photos as possible. It allows up to 10. You want to upload 10 photos, and you want to use real, authentic pictures. So it's pretty easy to go out and find some stock photography of the cheesy guy with the wrench, or like the smiling model with his plumbing shirt on, and that's fine and dandy. But that's stock photography. It doesn't give your consumer any more of a picture of who they're going to be dealing with and why they want to choose you over the other hundreds of plumbing companies in your market. So, be authentic. Get some pictures of yourself, of your team. I love shots where I can get the truck stacked up and a team of guys. If it's just a one-man shop, if you're a one-man company, get a picture of yourself standing in front of your truck with the logo prominent behind it. Those types of photos resonate much deeper than just a picture of stock photography. My personal opinion. Now, some tricks or some strategies on how to maximize this photo component of Google Places. Save your pictures on your desktop and then rename them. So don't just name them picture 1, picture 2, picture 3, or picture in front of the truck, picture in front of the building, team picture. Go ahead and put your keywords into your photo. So name your first picture Your City Plumber. Name your second picture Your City Plumbing Company - your company name. Name the next one Your City Emergency Plumbing Contractor. You get the idea. So you want to get the keywords that you want to rank for on the map into your photos before you upload them. Another tip that you can do is rather than just uploading right into Google Places, go to panoramio.com. And Panoramio is a video sharing website that's owned by Google. And it gives you the ability to tag your photos and geotag your photos. So take that same picture that you named as Your City Plumber, upload it to panoramio.com, and then go in and set the geo settings so that it's mapped to your address. So now Google sees your picture and it has an address associated with it, and then upload it or copy the URL for that image to your Google Places listing for your 10 images. And now you've really maximized your opportunity for Google to know that you're at this address, these are your pictures, this is where you're located based on where your images are linked to, and it just gives you some power to do it that way. And don't worry, I've got a guide I'm going to be giving you access to after this that really walks you step by step through this entire process. Setting up Panoramio, how to name your images, all of that stuff. The next thing on your Google account is you have the ability to upload videos. Try and upload at least 5 videos, a minimum of 2. And the reason is we found in testing that 2 videos, for whatever reason, gives you a much better bang for your buck than just 1 video. Actually better to have 0 videos than just 1. So you want to have at least 2 videos in your Google Places account. If you don't have any videos, take some time and have some videos made. These don't have to be high-end. They don't have to be super professional. But just a simple video of you standing in front of your truck or standing in front of your building, shot on an iPhone or an Android camera or something simple, as simple as, hey, my name is Joe. I'm the owner of Joe Plumbing, Joe the Plumber. We provide, residential, commercial plumbing services. We're available 24/7 to get someone out to your house today. If you've got a plumbing situation and you need help, give us a call. We'd love to work with you. You can reach me at this number. Those types of videos tend to work extremely well. And then make a simple video like that for each one of your services. So, hey, if you've got a burst pipe, we happen to be experts in trenchless sewer replacement and can save you a lot of money on, fixing the pipe situation that you have. Here are some of the benefits. Give me a call, and I'll be glad to come out to your house and give you a free estimate. Simple videos like that make the consumer feel like they can trust you, like they know you, before they even meet you. So record some videos. It gives you more context to your Google Places listing. Another tip on videos, upload them to YouTube. There's an advanced setting that you can also set the geo-modified information. So you would say this address, it'll tag it, place a little pin spot for the video on your place of business. Again, gives you more geographical context to your Google Places listing. If you'd like more specific information on how to claim your Google Places listing, how to do the things I'm talking about with the images and the videos, I have a free guide available at plumberseo.net/Google-Places. It's completely free. You can go there and download the guide. So let's talk about establishing your NAP, or your name, address, phone number profile across the web. A citation is a reference of your company's name, address, and phone number. And what you need to do is improve the quantity and quality of your citations across the web. So when Google comes through on your Google Places listing, they can see you not only listed there, but they find the information on Facebook and Twitter, Localese, DexKnows, Yellowbot, City Search, Angie's List, Local.com, and it's finding the same name, address, and phone number on all of these different websites. Well, that gives you a lot of context, and it gives you a lot of authority, so Google feels more comfortable placing you on that page 1 instead of page 7 where you might be now. So just a list of some of the main citations you want to make sure you get. The top ones are Bing Local, City Search, Yahoo Local, Angie's List, Judy's Book, Local.com, Merchant Circle. If you want a list of these citations, and I'm talking in this case about the free listings. You don't need to go out and buy a paid ad on all of these. All you're doing is going to the website, making sure that your name, address, and phone number are listed and you're in their directory, and creating that NAP profile. So if you want a complete list of these with the URLs for how to get there, again, plumberseo.net/Google-Places, and I'll provide you with the complete list. The next critical component, like we talked about, was having reviews. And I want to emphasize that we need authentic, true reviews from your true customers on your Google Places listing and other online directory sites. So this isn't a case where I'm just telling you, hey, go out and spam the reviews, create a bunch of accounts, and get your review count from 0 to 7 or from 7 to 15. You need a system and a process to get real reviews from real people with real profiles. And the reason I say that is Google isn't just counting reviews. It's looking at the reviewer profile. So it can tell based on where the review is originated, whether you're doing a bunch of bogus reviews from your computer or from your house, or if it's real people spread throughout your service area that have existing Google accounts. Google has millions and millions and millions of users. A lot of them use Gmail, they use YouTube, they use Google+. So they have, at some level, developed or set up a Google account. And Google has a history on all of those Google accounts. The reviews you want are from a diverse set of people in your area. Google knows where they're from because they're typically searching the internet with cached-in information. So I'm going to get off my soapbox for a second, but the point is you need to have real reviews in a process to get those real reviews and not just try and game the system. So we talked about this being a key determinant. Our clients that have more reviews tend to rank much better on the map than the ones that don't. Here's a specific strategy for getting reviews from your real customers. Put together a list of your sphere of influence. And by sphere of influence, I'm talking about your past customers, your close personal friends, your family members, all people that know you as a business and as a business person. And put together a simple email that says, hey, I'm in the process of trying to ramp up my internet marketing efforts. In order to do so, I need to get some reviews online, on my Google Places and other online directory listings. As a friend and a past user of my services, I'd really appreciate if you take a few minutes to write me a review on my Google Places account. It would really help me out. And then give them a direct link and make it simple as pie for them to go and write your review. We find that doing that creates a nice bulk of legitimate reviews to your Google Places listing, and it gives you a nice head start. The next thing you need to do is create a system in your business where you're systematically requesting and getting reviews from your customers. So there's a couple ways to do this. The one thing we recommend that we do for our clients is we print out a review request card. And so it's just a business card or a postcard where you type in, thanks for your business, we appreciate the opportunity to serve you and would love to get your feedback. And then you give them this postcard with a link to a place where they can write a review. Now there's the hard way to do it and there's the easy way to do it. The hard way is to send them to www.google.com/ whatever the length of your Google URL is. Or you can use a shortener like one of the URL shorteners that would bring that down to a much shorter level. The easy way to do it would be to create a page on your website called yourcompany.com/reviews. And on that page have direct links to various online review sites. And the reason you would want to use various online review sites is not everybody has that Google account. And if they want to write a review for you on Google Plus Local or Google Places, they're going to have to go there and they're going to have to create an account and then they're going to have to write the review. And if they just create an account, they don't have a reviewer profile, so it's not going to add much value to you anyways. However, there are people that use different profiles. Some people are just advocates of Angie's List, and they've got an Angie's List account, and if you gave them the option to write you a review on Angie's List, they would jump right on and they would put together their review real quickly. Some people are Yelpers. They like to write reviews on Yelp.com. They've got a Yelp account. They've written 20 different reviews for every restaurant and every local retail center and everything in between. And so the point is you want to have options for your customers, whether they want to write a review on Google Places, on Yelp.com, on City Search, on Angie's List. Make it real easy for them. So create a little page on your website called yourcompany.com/reviews. Put on your card, hey, go to this website, and you can write us a review, and we'd really appreciate it. Taking it a step further, you can leverage email, and this is really the easiest and most encouraged way to do it. Leverage email to get your customers to write reviews. So start to have a process, and I recommend it be at the front end when the person calls in. Hey, thanks for calling Joe's Plumbing. How can I help you? Oh, you need a technician out today? Great. What's the address? Okay. Hey, I'd like to send you a confirmation via email. What email address should I send this to? This is a big tip. Asking for it at that point in the conversation as opposed to after the service is done makes all the difference in the world. We've had clients, we've said, hey, why don't you start to collect email addresses from your customers? And they say, man, we're trying. The technician provides the service, and then he says, hey, by the way, what's your email address? And the customer's like, why do I want to give you my email address? What's in it for me? They don't want to get spammed. They don't want to get on your email newsletter list. But if you're going to be going out to their home and you're telling them, hey, I'm just going to send you a confirmation email, it's a much softer sale. And by the way, now you can email market to them. You can send them the request for review. You can invite them to their social media profiles. So try and ask for it at that point in time. But in either event, once you've got the email address, you can have an email go out to the customer thanking them for their business. Always a good practice, showing appreciation and letting them know that you'd love to get their feedback. Again, sending them a direct link to the places where they can write your reviews or to that web page on your site that has links to all of those places where they can write reviews. So that's the way that you can start to get true, authentic reviews from your customers in your market that will make a huge impact in your placement and your ability to get new business. So again, the three core components to getting listed on the Google map is having a claimed and verified Google Places listing, establishing your name, address, and phone number so it's consistent across the web, getting reviews and having a system in place to get true reviews, and helping Google understand your true service area. And there's a secret weapon that we reference and that we use to help our clients establish that true service area and to kind of automate the review request process. So just picture with me for a second. Here we've got Joe the plumber, and you can see he's standing here. He just pulled up to Betsy's house, one of his customers that needed to have their toilet unclogged. Now when he gets there, he's going to use a web-based tool that runs either on his iPhone, his Android, or some other mobile device. And he's going to load up the tool called Nearby Now. And he's going to check in. And when he does that, the data from his iPhone, the GPS information on his iPhone, is going to push that exact check-in showing where he's located. And he's going to continuously do that every time he goes to a customer's location. And what that does is it starts to syndicate back to your website and to your social media profiles check-in data, creating a heat map showing where you and your technicians are checking in all over town. We found this to be a great way to help Google understand your true service area and help get you ranked outside of that main city where you happen to operate. So you're located in, let's say, if you're in South Florida, you're in Kendall, but the main city's Miami. And you're like, man, I wish my office was in Miami, but I'm in Kendall. I want to show up from Miami. Well, by having this tool and really using it in an effective way, you can help Google understand that while you're in Kendall, your true service area is a 25-mile radius, which includes Miami and some of the other main cities around that area. Now, to take it a step further, what you can do with this tool is you can start to automate the review request process. So just, again, Joe goes out, checks in at the home, information is gathered, pushed back to the website to help establish his true service area. Then he tells the customer, hey, I'm going to send you a request for review, and then he presses another button inside of Nearby Now, and an email goes out to the customer. Like we said, thanks for your business. We'd love to get your feedback. Please write us a review. And then what you get is more reviews because you've got a process, an automated process in your business where you're helping Google understand your true service area and you're getting reviews from your customers. That tool is called Nearby Now. You can access it at www.nearbynow.co/Plumber SEO. And it's a great tool to accomplish just that task, to automate the review request process. And so that is our discussion on getting ranked in the Google map and what you need to do to get ranked on the Google map. Any questions on that? I know I went into a lot of depth, so if I don't have questions, I know I'm starting to almost hit my time limit, so I want to keep going. So let's talk about how to get listed in the organic section. Not necessarily the map, but the organic section on the search engines. And the main words like your city plus plumber, your city plus plumbing are going to be driven by the map. And you really need to show up in the map because you show up, down the list, maybe 8 or 9 down the list in the best case scenario. However, if you want to get ranked for words like your city plus drain cleaning, your city plus water heater installation, your city plus water heater repair, in a lot of cases the map doesn't show up for those searches. So you need to have an organic optimization strategy to rank for those keywords. So let's talk about how to get listed in the organic section. Ultimately, there's three main things that you need to do to get listed in the organic section. You need more placeholders, so more places that you're actually listed for in Google's index. Then you need to optimize your website for each one of those placeholders, and you need inbound links. So I'm going to unpack what each of those three mean, but ultimately you need more pages for showing up on the map in the organic section. You need more optimization, so you need Google to really understand what your website's all about, what words you should be ranking for, and then you need more inbound links, which are going to improve your probability of showing up and why Google ranks you that way. Before we go there, we need to talk about what the main keywords are. And we've done some keyword research to find out what the main things people are typing in when they're looking for plumbing and AC related services. So on the plumbing side, you got plumber, plumbing contractor, residential plumber, emergency plumber, slab leak, leak detection, water heater installation, repiping, leaky faucet, and the list goes on and on. From an AC repair or an HVAC side of the equation, there's air conditioner repair, AC repair, heating, furnace repair, vent cleaning, and the list goes on and on. I'm not going to go into depth on each one of these. If you'd like a copy of this list of keywords, you can go to plumberseo.net/free. There you'll find a guide that's completely free, talks about some of the other strategies I'm going to be sharing on an SEO side of the equation, but it also shares that list of the most commonly searched keywords, which will be important as you look to implement these ideas. So I said you need more pages. You need to have more pages and placeholders. Now let me explain what I mean by that. The typical plumbing website has 5 to 7 pages. And typically what we find is got home, about us, our services, contact us, and maybe a coupons page. And that's great. But if you want to rank for all of the different words that I was talking about over here, all the different keyword combinations, you really need to make sure that you've got pages for each one of your services, because each page on your website can only be optimized for 2, maybe 3 keyword combinations. So your home page, you're typically going to want to optimize for your main service. So if you're a plumber, you're going to want to optimize for your city plus plumber, your city plus plumbing, your city plus plumbing contractor. If you want to rank for water heater installation and leak detection and repiping and drain cleaning, you need to have pages on your website for each one of those that are specifically optimized for those search combinations. So that's why I say you need more placeholders. So you need a sub-page for each one of your different services, like I've defined here. You've got Miami emergency plumber, leak detection, Miami toilet repair. Then you want sub-pages for each one of the service areas that you service. So the typical plumbing contractor that we deal with has a service area between 25 and 50 miles. And some wider, some narrower. But that results in a lot of little cities in and around your area. So if I use as an example Miami, well, in Miami, you've also got Kendall, you've got Doral, you've got Homestead, you've got Hialeah, you've got North Miami, you've got Miami Beach, and all of that might be in the same service area for one plumbing contractor. So in order to rank for each one of those areas, you need to make sure that you've got a page on your website for each one of those specific sub-cities. So home, about us, our services, right? And then combined with our services, you'd link to each one of the different services that you offer. Coupons, our service area, there you would want to list each one of the sub-cities that you operate in, Kendall, Doral, Miami, and then link to a page that talks about those specific services in those specific markets. Now, when I talk about the site needing to be optimized, there's books and topics on this that you can read, but ultimately, one of the number one determinants that Google looks at to see what your website or what your web page is all about is the title tag. And this title tag is this area up on the top of the browser on any website that any web developer that you might work with worth his salt should be able to update. And so it's called your title tag. It shows up in the blue bar at the top of your site. Typical plumbing website, what we're seeing is that title is something like Joe's Plumbing Service, which would be the company's name, which is great. You're well optimized for your company name, but most people, or at least the people you want to have find you on the internet, aren't going to type into Google Joe's Plumbing. They're going to type in, your city plus plumber, your city's plus plumbing, your city plus plumbing contractor. So you want to use, for each of these pages on your website, this is a strategy to be on every page, not just your homepage. You need to move your main keyword as far to the left at the front of your title. So in the case of Miami Plumber Joe's Plumbing, you'd want to be Miami Plumber, Joe's Plumbing Service, and then some other keyword that you want to rank for, whether it's emergency plumber, commercial plumber, whatever your second most important keyword is. And you'd want to do the same thing for the subpages on your website. So if you've got a page on your website that you want to rank for water heater installation, you'd call it Miami Water Heater Installation Service by Joe's Plumbing Service in Miami, Florida, for instance. And the same thing for drain cleaning, and the same thing for repiping. That title tag is essential. And again, I talked about on Google Places. If you haven't claimed your Google Places listing, stop now, do that, and you'll get a ton of value out of this presentation. If you don't do anything else from this presentation, but go back to the title tag on your homepage, and you change that from your company name to your city plus your service, you'll notice a major, drastic improvement in how you're ranking on the search engines for that specific word. Some additional things you can do to optimize your website. You want a unique title tag, that's this, on every page of your site for a specific keyword. You want to have an H1 tag, that's the big bold text along the top with your keyword. You want to name your images with your keywords. So if you got a picture of you standing in front of your truck, again, don't upload that image as me in front of my truck.jpg. Upload it as, Miami Plumbing, Joe's Plumbing Service, as the name of the image. And there's some additional things you can do here, but those are the main things. Title tag, H1 tag, keywords in your images. Now that's going to give you placement on the search engines for the various plumbing or HVAC related keywords, because you've got a page for each one of your services, a page for the subsidies that you operate in. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that you're ranking on page 1 for all of those services. It just means you're in the index, which is a start, right? It means that you're going to be showing up maybe on page 10, but you'll be showing up somewhere down the list because you have a page specifically built for it. The thing that determines who gets page 1 versus page 7, or spot 1 versus spot 6, is the number of credible, quality inbound links to that website or to that page. And so really, he who has the most quality inbound links wins. So you need to have a strategy to get links, other websites online linking back to your website if you're going to outrank your competition. So let me talk about some specific link building strategies for improving your authority on the search engines and to improve your placement for all of these various keywords. First thing you want to do is look at the low-hanging fruit. Find associations and organizations that you're involved in and get links from those organizations' websites to your website. So if you're a member of the Plumbing Association, you're on this webinar, you're probably a member of the PHCC, go to your local and national chapter and say, hey, how do I get my company listed on the website with a link back to my website? If you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, if you're a member of any local networking groups, these are great inbound links that you can get just by having your company's name, address, and phone number and a link back to your website. Directory listings. We talked about it a little bit. For getting listed on the map, you have to have a consistent name, address, and phone number. You want to be listed on the online directories. Well, getting listed there does create some nice inbound links for you. Angie's List, Judy's Books, City Search, Yelp.com. The other thing you should do is run a search for your city business directory, and you'll find some other very localized directories you can add yourself to. Run a search for your service directory, so plumbing directory. Things like eLocal Plumber and plumbingweb.com. Great places to have yourself added. You get a citation. You also get a quality inbound link to your website. But really the best way to improve the number of inbound links and really improve the overall ranking of your website is by creating interesting content. Um, you know, content doesn't have to be articles. It could be articles, could be videos, could be audio recordings, but it's going to be information that you happen to have expert knowledge on that you can post, either videos, like I said, or articles, or audio recordings. I personally happen to have some expert knowledge around internet marketing and search engine optimization and social media, so I create that kind of content. I create articles, I push out videos, I record podcasts, and you probably have expert knowledge about what you do. So you know about the differences between PVC and copper piping. You know about the benefits of trenchless versus regular retrenching. You know about the benefits of tankless versus tanked water heaters. You get the idea. Take your expert knowledge and create content around it. And then you can upload it to your blog. You can upload it to your social media profiles. You can push it out to article directory sites. And by creating that content and putting it out online, you always want to have a link back to your homepage or to the subpage on your website. So if you wrote an article about how to choose a plumber in the Miami area, well, now you've got a link that you probably want to send back to your homepage that says, and if you need a Miami plumber, come to Joe's Plumbing Service, with a link back to your website. If you wrote an article on the benefits of trenchless sewer replacement, well, then you're going to create a link back to your homepage, probably with a direct link there, but you can also send a link back to your trenchless sewer repair page on your website. Again, you don't just want links to your homepage, you want links to the subpages on your website as well, so that you can create that authority and get not just your homepage, but the subpages to rise as well. The other really good strategy for improving the number of inbound links to your website is what we call competitive link acquisition. And this is a strategy that most of the plumbing and HVAC contractors I talk with really seem to get and want to take hold of. If you type in your city plus plumber or your city plus plumbing, inevitably there's a big player in your market that's in spot 1, somebody in spot 2, somebody in spot 3, somebody in spot 4. And the reason they're ranked in those positions is because they have more authority in terms of inbound links and citations to their website than you have. So you can do competitive link acquisition. In other words, create a list of the website addresses of those top 10 guys in your market. And then use a tool. There's a lot of tools online, but one of them is Yahoo Site Explorer. You can type in on yahoo.com, link, whatever those URLs are, one at a time, your competitor 1, your competitor 2, your competitor 3.com, and it will give you a link profile showing, okay, these are the 10 links pointing back to competitor1.com. And you can look at those links and say, okay, which ones can I get to my website? Oh, he's a member of this association. Maybe I should join that association. Oh, he wrote an article that got picked up on, the South Florida Business Journal. Oh, how do I get that? I'm going to write an article and get it linked back to me. That's the process by which you can get more of the same links than your competition, and that's how you start to outrank your competition for your keywords in your market. I'm out of time. I know I'm getting questions. I apologize. I already think I'm going longer than I was supposed to, so I hope you're getting that value out of this. If you do, just please, I'd appreciate it if you could shoot me a little message down there that says, hey, no questions, but hey, great work. I love what you're doing here. Let's talk real quick about directories. We talked about citation development and making sure you're listed on City Search and Angie's List and all of these different places in order to establish your name, address, and phone number profile. There are some directories that are worth an advertisement in or paying for advertising in. The ones I recommend for the most part, number one is angieslist.com. Seen a lot of my best customers that are actively involved in Angie's List. They've got a lot of really good reviews on Angie's List, and they get quality business from it. The main thing I like about Angie's List is the demographic of the customer that you're attracting. You're not really going to be getting the low bottom feeder type customer on Angie's List. You're not going to be getting that person that wants you to come out and snake their drain for $39 or give you a free estimate and then bring in 10 other guys. They're really more the quality consumer that has paid to get access to a list of pre-qualified contractors, and they want quality. They want somebody that's going to show up on time, that's going to be professional, that's not going to leave a mess, and you know what? They realize they're going to wind up paying a premium for that service, but they're willing to pay that premium because that's the kind of customer that they are. So if you didn't advertise in any other online directory, I would recommend Angie's List. I find it to be a good source of quality business. The other ones to consider are Yelp.com and CitySearch.com. Not as much though as Angie's List. So if you had to stack it in importance, definitely Angie's List first. Now let's talk about social media. And as I talk to plumbing and HVAC contractors and I mention social media, their eyes kind of glaze over. They say, yeah, I've heard the buzz, I've heard the hype. I just don't see how it applies to my plumbing business. I don't see how that's going to help me, get my phone ringing more, get me more business. And so let me explain how I like to think about social media. And I like to ask one question to really kind of tee this up. Right now, what's your number one source of business? Not Yellow Pages, not internet, but where do you get most of your business from? And if you like, go ahead and key it in down there on the questions form. It'll come into me, and I can look at it. And I did this live a couple weeks ago in Fort Lauderdale. In Orlando at the Florida PHCC convention, and unilaterally the answer was repeat and referral business. My past customers and my repeat customers is where I get most of my business. And I'll tell you, social media is a way to take that repeat and word of mouth business, inject it with steroids, and take it to a whole nother level within your organization. Because the average Facebook user has 135 friends and is typically logging in and interacting on Facebook at least 3 to 5 times per day. These are just average statistics across the board. So if you can get your customer that you were at yesterday to go ahead and go to your Facebook business page and press the like button, by them doing that, they've basically exposed your organization to 135 people, typically within your geographic area. It's almost as if they took out a notepad and they wrote down, hey, to each one of their friends, hey, I met this really great plumber in our area. Next time you need plumbing services, please think of them, and sent it out on your behalf. Now, can you start to see how that would help to maybe generate some word of mouth business for you? The other thing that social media has the opportunity to do is help to keep you top of mind. Because every time they log into their Facebook page after pressing the like button, if you're putting out good information and you're putting out information on a consistent basis, they're going to see your tip. They're going to see your update. They're going to see your coupon. They're going to see your photo. And they're going to think, man, that's a cool plumbing or HVAC company. Next time I need plumbing service, I'm going to call them. Or next time a friend says, hey, do you know a good plumber? They'll say, oh yeah, I've got this guy. He's on my Facebook. He always puts out all this cool stuff. That's how you can leverage social media, Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and LinkedIn, to really take your business to the next level and get more repeat and referral business. So how can you start? It can be overwhelming, and you look at all of the options in social media. You definitely want to start with Facebook business page. So set up a personal profile if you don't have one, connect that to a business page, and start to put out information. You want to have a Twitter account, you want to have a LinkedIn profile, you want to have a YouTube channel where you can upload videos, you want a Google Plus account, and you want a blog. A blog being yourcompany.com/blog, a place where you can upload information, all of your photos, all of your articles, all of your videos, and be the central hub where you host all of your relevant information for your customers. So some ways to get started with this. Once you've got your profile set up, the first thing you want to do, similar to a review acquisition process, is sit down and think about your personal sphere of influence. Think about your friends, your family, your good customers that you know already like you and refer you to their friends, and put together a simple email that says, hey, we're actively getting involved in social media. I've set up this Facebook page and this YouTube channel. If you would spend a few minutes and press the like button, press the subscribe button, press the follow button, I'd really appreciate it. And in some cases here, you can even add something of value. Offer them a coupon or a discount off their next service, or some little cookie, some little widget that doesn't cost you a lot but adds value to them and that they would enjoy. This is a great way to get an initial following from your on your social media profiles. Then, of course, you need to have a strategy to consistently invite your customers to the social media sphere. So sending out an email after service, thanking them, asking them for that review, and then a third touch that says, hey, by the way, we're on social media, press the like button, we'd really appreciate it. Or press the like button and get this special incentive. On an ongoing basis, in order for social media to be effective, you have to be continually putting out good quality information. And we like to use the 90-10 rule. 90% of the content that you put on your social media profiles should be informational. It should be of value. It should be social. Pictures of your staff, pictures of a party that your staff had, pictures of your trucks, pictures of a job that you did out in the field. And only 10% of it should be promotional. So don't sell on your social media profiles, but do add value. And occasionally you can put out that, hey, get 10% off your next plumbing service, or hey, if you're thinking about remodeling, we'll come out for a free estimate. If you do that, you're going to be able to maintain that following of customers. You're going to be able to remain top of mind, and people will want to refer you through their social media connections. So just to recap, we talked about Google Map optimization. You need to claim your listing. You need to optimize it by adding those photos and those videos and the right contextual information. Then you need to establish your name, address, phone number, and put a system in place to start to systematically get reviews from your real customers. From an SEO perspective, in order to get ranked in the organic section, you need to optimize your website. You need to build out pages for each one of the services and each one of the markets that you have. And then you need to create a process where you're getting inbound links to your website through fresh content that you're creating. Social media, you want to leverage email in order to get your active customers to engage with you on social media in a way that's going to drive repeat and referral business. So I hope you found this information interesting. I hope you found it valuable. We developed a complete guide to go along with this that shares some of our best ideas and strategies and techniques on how you can do the step-by-step stuff, how to claim your Google Places listing, how to build out those web pages on your website, how to get the inbound links, how to leverage social media and specific how-tos on how to set up your Facebook page. To download that, you can go to plumberseo.net/free. Now, if you're the type of business owner that says, you know what, Josh, this is great information. I appreciate that you just spent an hour and 15 minutes sharing this great information with me. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. I'm a plumber. I'm the owner of a plumbing or HVAC business, and I've got work to do. I would like to have an expert that knows how to do this stuff that could do it for me. Now, if you're that kind of company and you're saying, you know what, I'd like that level of support, I'd like to have somebody do this for me, well, then I'd love to talk with you. Obviously that's what we do. Our core business is taking these ideas, these strategies, these techniques, and implementing them on the behalf of our clients. So if that's you, if you'd like to talk with me, I'd encourage you to give me a call. We only work with one plumber or HVAC contractor in each market. So if you're interested, give me a call. You can reach me directly at 866-610-4647. And I appreciate you taking the time, and I really truly hope that you're able to take these ideas and take your business to a whole nother level.